Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 41st episode of Page Valley Living. We're here today at the Page Valley Fairgrounds for the 55th annual Page County Heritage Festival that's happening here today. Lots going on, lots of vendors, lots of crafts for sale here. That was all weekend on Saturday and Sunday at the Page Valley Fairgrounds. You can see demonstrations of the way things used to be, an old sawmill, old steam engines, pressing sorghum, all sorts of things, apple butter boiling, and all sorts of activities out here at the fairground at the 55th annual Page County Heritage Festival. And we're going to be talking to a number of folks who have visited today here at the fairgrounds, and maybe even some vendors as well, and a few other folks to see what the atmosphere is like here at the fairgrounds. But before we get into all of that, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
At Luray Caverns, the Smithsonian Institution said, quote, "It is safe to say there is probably no other cave in the world more completely and profusely decorated than that of Luray. Come see Mother Nature showing off, only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today."
Okay, everybody, once again, it's the 55th annual Page County Heritage Festival right here at the Page Valley Fairgrounds. Lots of activities, as we said before, that are going on. We're going to be talking to all sorts of people from all over the place and interviewing some vendors, seeing what's for sale, what's some thoughts that people have about what they like about the way things used to be and what they appreciate about what they no longer have to do due to modern technology. We'll be talking about all of that and so much more here at the Page Valley Fairgrounds. But first, let's check this week's headlines. And now looking back at the week that was in the Page Valley. Tonight at the Luray Council meeting, there will be 3 public hearings that will be held to receive public comment on 4 amendments to the town budget and 2 requests from Baker Development involving the Luray Landing planned neighborhood development. One of those requests is to lift a utility easement at the site, and the other is to amend the conditional zoning amendment that the town adopted for that development. The Luray Council meets at Town Hall on Main Street at 7 p.m. this Wednesday evening. Kudos to Mountain Valley Home Comfort, who donated a new HVAC system to the Page County Senior Center at the end of September. When Seniors First sent out a request for bids on the project, Mountain Valley Home Comfort submitted a proposal to donate the entire replacement and installation. The Senior Center, which serves as a gathering place for elderly in the community, had been struggling with an aging HVAC system that no longer was reliable, causing concerns as cold weather approached. And finally, when you head to the ballot box this year, don't be surprised to see a constitutional amendment among the choices that will alter the tax code of Virginia. The proposed amendment simply changes the language in the code to expand tax benefits for the spouses of military personnel that die while in service. The current code allowing an exemption on the real estate tax for their primary residence states that only the spouses of soldiers killed in action will be eligible. The amendment exchanges the term killed in action for who died in the line of duty to include those soldiers who may have died during a training exercise or other non-combative manners. In the world of sports, the Virginia High School League announced in late September that Luray High School will be dropping down a classification during the next 2 school years. The Bulldogs will remain in the Bull Run District and for the bulk of its regular season play those teams and continue to schedule rival Page County. But when it comes to region playoffs, they will go down to Region 1B, and in state competition, they will be at the Class 1 level. The change lasts for the next 2 school years, then the Bulldogs will return to Class 2 action. This Friday night, Luray will host undefeated Strasburg. The Rams beat Page County last Friday 50-7 and sit at the top of the Bull Run standings at 6-0. Kickoff is at Bulldog Field at 7 p.m. The Panthers of Page County will host undefeated Clark County. And now looking at the weekend ahead in the Page Valley. On Friday, October 18th from 6 to 9 p.m., it's open mic night at the Dawn of the Stars Theater on Main Street in Stanley. And also at that same theater on Saturday, October 19th, from 7 to 9, it's Blue Tapestry taking the stage. Also on Saturday, October 19th,
from 9 to 12 a.m., the Daughter of the Stars Farmers Market will be set up at 56 East Main Street in Luray. From 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturday, it's Music Under the Arbor at Wisteria Farm and Vineyard on Marksville Road near Stanley, featuring Brandy Lindsay. And, of course, live music will be out at Cooters in the Valley on Route 211 on both Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Bluegrass featured on Sunday. And also there'll be live entertainment on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all of those days up at Skyline in Shenandoah National Park. And that's the headlines from the past week in the Page Valley. Episode 41 of Page Valley Living is being recorded on Sunday, October the 13th, and will be airing on Wednesday, October the 16th. And I'm here today with, I didn't get your name earlier.
My name's Jason, last name's Ellis.
Jason Ellis,
yes,
and
sir.
you are from Page County, that's correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, tell me a little bit about these engines that you seem to have collected and put on display here.
Most of them are from about the 1920s to 1930s. A couple of them are in the 40s. And usually they be running sawmills, anything like that, burr mills on farms, to grind their corn. Some people use them for generators to actually run to power their houses if they didn't have power lines back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how they kept their houses lit and how they kept refrigerators cold and stuff like that.
And how did you find all these old engines?
Most of my stuff all come from estate sales and private auctions and stuff like that. I try to pick them up, and then a couple of them, like I said, just friends, let you know where they're at and how to get a hold of them.
Okay.
Usually when you try to get a hold of them, you want to find ones that are all complete. You don't want nothing that's all tore apart, because they're obsolete now. There's no parts available anymore,
What makes you interested in them?
Just the way they work. Like I said, it's free energy. Every time you only hear it, the only time it burns gas is when it makes that chug noise.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just free spinning energy.
Now, free spinning energy, it takes a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, just centrifugal force.
Oh, okay.
It keeps everything going. It's just the momentum that keeps everything going.
Now, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
So when it's firing like that, that's using the fuel to
Yes.
kind of spin it,
Yes,
and then its own energy is keeping it going.
Yep, keeps it going until it slows down. The motor senses it slows down, then it throws the fuel back to it and makes it run again.
So these are not steam engines.
No, sir, they're gasoline motors.
They're gasoline motors,
Yep.
but you use a very little.
They were before the steam.
Before the steam.
I'm sorry, after steam.
After steam. Okay, all right.
We had steam, and then they come up with it's a little easier to move these around, get them started, throw gas in them. They run all day long.
Wow. I got two quick questions for you, and I'm going to let you go.
Yes, sir.
What do you appreciate most about the past and the way things used to be done?
Seems like it was a whole lot simpler.
Yeah.
A whole lot easier, and it seemed like a whole lot more stuff got done. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you appreciate most about today that we no longer have to do like we used to have to do?
The back-breaking labor.
Yeah.
Like them guys cutting wood, we take lumber for granted, That was an all-day process trying to get something like that done. It's crazy the amount of force and work they put in back then to achieve what we got now,
Yeah.
Just so simple and easy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
I appreciate it.
you.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Hey folks, we're here at the Page County Heritage Festival, and we're going to talk with Nathan Jenkins a little bit. As you can see, he is a blacksmith, and he's going to be bending some iron and stuff here for us. And Nathan, if I'm not mistaken, you're originally from Page County, right?
Yes, sir. Originally from Page County, up in Stanley, up in a little holler. We call ourselves Holler Honeys. We're up there in Stanley in a place called Pine Grove.
Pine Grove. I rented a house 2 different times up in Pine Grove, so I am familiar with that area quite a bit. And you now live in Waynesboro, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But most folks don't know you by the name of Nathan Jenkins. What do they know you by?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Now, how did you come up with the nickname Bigfoot?
I spent so much time in the woods running about. When I was living up off the land up there, I got the name Bigfoot because I spent so much time in the woods. And when I came out, I had big bushy hair, and I got a Bigfoot walk.
Now, I thought it might have been because of the pedal that
No.
you push on your, what is that called?
The spring pole lathe.
Your spring pole lathe, yes, because you do a lot of working with wood as well.
Yes.
Right.
My company, we work with wood, metal, and stone.
Okay, now what are you going to demonstrate for us right here?
Well, I'm making what we call a bacon pick, and I got one right here.
Okay.
Here's what it is.
All right.
I've taken a railroad spike, I've drawn it out, and I've brought it to a nice sharp point here, and what you can do is you can use it when you're cooking your bacon, get into your pan, and flip it over. Or if you're grilling, you can reach in there, pick it up. If you've got dry rubs or anything, it's really great for doing that.
How long do you have to heat the metal before you can actually bend it?
Just a few minutes, really.
All right.
If I give it 2 or 3 minutes, let the heat soak in there, let it get nice and hot. Like we've got this one here soaking. It's hot all the way through.
How in the world are you going to take that big fat spike and make it so long and thin?
Well, I'm glad that you asked because we got it up to heat.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit it over the. I've seen you've seen I've worked on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold it over here on the horn. And I'm gonna take this big old hammer and I'm gonna bash it.
And you're just flattening it out right now.
Yes, I'm drawing it out.
Okay.
So
Drawing it out.
what the horn has done, you might be able to see all those little dips in there.
Yeah.
So what the horn is doing is it's spreading the metal out this way and it's making it longer. If I
Wow.
want to flatten it out, I'll take this and I'll use the flat side of the anvil and I'll make it flat. Just
Wow.
like that.
Wow. Now that seems like a whole lot of work just to eat bacon.
It is a whole lot of work to eat bacon, but it's fun.
All right. Well, Nathan, thank you so much for showing us a little bit here today and being at the Page County Heritage Festival.
Yes, sir. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
And we're now once again back at the 55th annual Page County Heritage Festival. And folks, we've been talking with a few people in the crowd. We were kind of wondering, where are you from?
We're from Culpeper, Virginia.
Culpeper.
Up the side of the mountain.
I used to live in Culpeper for a year, or about 3 years there for a little while. Out,
Over 40 years.
well, I was out on Route 29 there near the, was it Brandy Station, the old Civil War. I rented a house out there on a farm there. Now, I wondered if there's anything here today that has caught your eye that you thought was particularly interesting.
I have everything. I'm just glad to get out and about on a beautiful day.
Well, I have two questions for you, and we'll let you go. The first question is, and I can let both of you answer this, what do you appreciate most about the way things used to be?
A lot more simpler and stuff. The internet and all that's just rumors and false things. So the old ways you could just relax and not have to worry about things.
And how about you?
Slower pace, people, treat you better and stuff than they do now. Everybody's just money, 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 go, 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 and I like it slow and simple.
Now, let me ask you the other side of that question. What do you appreciate most about life today that folks back in the day couldn't take advantage of? Things that we no longer have to do that you appreciate?
Well, all the technology especially. My parents and all it would boggle their minds to see some of this stuff. So, I mean, it's just, it boggles my mind.
How about you, sir?
Yeah, just like the internet banking and all that. It used to be years ago, it would take 2 or 3 weeks to get certain checks through, and it's today. So all the technology is at your fingertips.
Well, how about this? I'm not that old a feller, but when I was very little, my grandma's church still had an outhouse.
Oh.
So I remember using an outhouse.
Depending on where where you're at in the country and everything. Yeah, there's probably still things, because when I first started dating him, they were on a farm. They had an outhouse, and I had never seen one before.
Now, that's probably something you don't miss.
Especially the cold winters.
Nighttime.
Well, thank y'all so much for being here with us today. We appreciate it. And we're talking with more folks here at the 55th Annual Page County Heritage Festival. Where are you folks visiting from today?
We're from near Richmond.
Near Richmond. Now, I know the Richmond area very well, so where around Richmond are you?
We're in Ruther Glen, so by Kings Dominion.
Oh, on the north side. I grew up in Farmville, about an hour on the south side. So, all right. So, have you seen anything here today at the Page County Heritage Festival that particularly caught your eye or that you thought was interesting?
We haven't been in long so far this afternoon. Of course, I love going in and getting the really good sweet treats that the ladies have made. That's always good. But I do remember, I used to come here when I was a kid, so I look forward to seeing all the different crafts and things. And he's excited about the tractors and all the fun things to do. So.
Now, you said you came here as a kid to this festival or to this area?
Both. We used to camp up here every Columbus Day weekend for specifically this when I was a kid. So.
Really? Now, that is really interesting. So, because we've been going on for 55 years, what's your earliest memory of the Heritage Festival?
Probably the mid-90s.
And do you have a particular memory from being here?
Definitely this area is pretty much reminds me of the same way it was then, and all the food vendors and all of that, jazz. So it was exciting to bring him and let him kind of experience it like we did then. So.
That is outstanding. So you came as a kid and now you're bringing your child here. So that's great. That is wonderful. And from all the way from outside of Richmond, that is fantastic. 2 quick questions and we're going to let you go. Is there something that you appreciate about the way things used to be?
Definitely the community aspect, and not just community feel and helping each other out. I definitely appreciate that part of the way life was. And you still get glimpses of that in the small towns, not as much as like Richmond.
Right. Well, is there something about today, about modern today, that you appreciate when you look around? Do you think, I'm glad we don't have to do that anymore?
Definitely like the way they used to do laundry. I don't wish to do that ever. I would say most of the household things have gotten a lot easier over the years. So.
Outstanding. Well, thank y'all so much for talking to us, and enjoy your time in the Page Valley.
Thank you.
Well, we wrangled up some more visitors here to the 55th annual, Page County Heritage Festival. And folks, where are you from?
Maryland.
What part of Maryland?
Eastern Shore.
Eastern Shore. Very good, very good. And what do you think so far on your trip here to the Page Valley?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Is there anything here today at the Heritage Festival that has caught your eye or that you thought was particularly interesting?
Well, in our community, and we live in Denton, Maryland, we have a Wheat Threshermen's Association. Tremendous amount of steam equipment, steam engines, and you look at how hard people work to bring us to where we are today.
Wow. And I have 2 questions for you, then we're going to let you go and enjoy maybe some of this kettle corn or anything else that we've got around here. What do you appreciate most about the way things used to be? And I'm going to ask both of you this.
I don't know. I guess the simple living, the way people,
Okay.
it was nice.
That has been a popular answer.
Yeah, oh, okay.
How about you, sir?
I think the way, how far we've come, especially in agriculture and commercial, and the equipment we have today, how much easier it is on the user.
Okay, and that leads right into the question I was going to ask. What do you appreciate about today that you look back on all these old methods and old equipment and you think, gosh, I'm glad we don't have to do it that way anymore?
Well, I'm glad I'm not like the Amish. I mean, they have a hard life.
Yeah,
I mean,
by choice.
Yeah,
By choice,
yeah, and
by choice.
I like my modern conveniences. So, yeah.
You don't want to use old washboard anymore?
No, thank you.
How about you, sir?
Well, I appreciate the fact that you can tell this community appreciates those people that have brought them to where they are today, and just a great social gathering. Everybody's so kind and considerate. Looks like everybody wants to be here.
Well, I think they do. Well, you go out and enjoy more of the 55th Annual Page County Heritage Festival, and thanks so much for talking with us here today.
At Luray Caverns, from well-lighted paved walkways, explore cathedral-sized rooms with ceilings 10 stories high, and walk among huge chambers filled with towering stone columns. Come visit Geology's Hall of Fame, only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today.
And once again, folks, we're talking with people here at the Heritage Festival here in Page County in Luray, Virginia at the Page Valley Fairgrounds. And folks, we wanted to first off tell us a little bit about where you're from.
We are from Washington, D.C. We've been staying at Luray campsite, so we're just here for the long weekend, and we heard about it and we came here to see.
Wonderful. How did you hear about the Heritage Festival?
In fact, at the campsite, they'd given us a pamphlet, and it had the Heritage Festival, and my mom is visiting from India, so we thought, she could actually get to see, part of America that she has not seen.
What a great experience. Have you seen Luray Caverns yet?
We have seen it, but she saw another cavern, so we're not going to go into the cavern, but we will go near the nearby. Yes, definitely.
Very well. What do you think of the area since you've been in the Page Valley?
Oh, we really love it. It's just like so quiet, and then just the American countryside beauty, which is really, really nice.
It's a little different than DC, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely different.
Very good. Well, because we're here at the Heritage Festival, we're asking people a couple of basic questions. The first question is, what do you appreciate about the way things used to be?
I think at this moment probably the climate was a lot more predictable at that time, and right now we are not, so I think appreciate, but I'm sure they also faced a lot more climate events, but I think it was a lot more predictable, I guess. Yeah.
And as promised, I'm going to get you on here as well. What do you appreciate most about the way life used to be?
What used to be? Well, I should say I grew up in rural England in an area that was very much like Page County. So, growing up, we used to have these kind of county fairs as well. So this makes me feel of home. So very much appreciating being here. One of my best friends back home is a farmer. I just sent him a video of the tractor competition. He said he thought he could come here and win next year.
So we're going international here. All right.
Those are fighting words.
That's outstanding. Outstanding. Last question, and we'll let you lovely people go. Yeah. What do you appreciate most about, looking around at all these old equipment and old ways of doing things and sawing logs and all? What do you appreciate most about today that we no longer have to do?
I think it starts with all, the electricity and the water and, the whole, interventions we've had on that. It's so much more easier to access those things. And even, like he was saying, his farmer friend has these huge tractors, which is a lot more efficient and it requires much less human effort. So I think that's much more easier now. The basic facilities have improved so much, even for farming, right? So, yeah.
Very well. I'm going to get you involved one more time. So what do you appreciate most about today that we no longer have to do?
It's great to see these things, but you appreciate how hard work they are to run. So, yeah, life is definitely easier in many ways. Well, more complicated, but easier.
Absolutely. Well, we hope that you all have a great day at the Heritage Festival. Enjoy your time in the Page Valley, and safe travels back to India.
Thank you very much. So much.
And we're back inside the exhibit barns here at the Page Valley Fairground, talking with some of the artisans who are presenting items for sale today. And right now we are with
Brian Turner.
And Brian, where are you from?
I live in Broadway, Virginia.
All right, I'm going to slip around on the other side here so we can see some of these beautiful works. Do you work on a particular type of wood or just a flat piece of wood?
No, I have a sawmill at my house, so it's just whatever scrap pieces and things I have left over. It's not long enough or big enough to do any big projects with. I like to do a little painting on them and see what happens.
And what inspired you to start doing this? Did you start with the woodworking first or with the art first?
Well, I've always enjoyed the woodworking, but Bob Ross started me on TV. Of course, everybody knows Bob, right?
So you know how to paint happy trees.
Happy trees, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's enjoyable, and you know, everybody likes them, and everybody enjoys looking at them. So you know, everything's good about it.
Have you gotten some good feedback, some good comments here at the Heritage Festival?
Yes. Everybody seems to.
And I hope you've done well at the cash register. Sold a few.
Yeah, I've sold a few, and I thank everybody for coming by and checking them out, and hope everybody continues to do so. And yep, it's just an enjoyable time here.
Well, I'll tell you, you are a very talented artist, and these are some beautiful pieces of scenery in the mountains. You've got a Halloween one here with pumpkins and things like that, and we've got birds, we've got mountain scenes. And we're going to let some of the folks in the festival go by us here. That's perfectly fine. We're here in the barn with a big crowd looking at a lot of exhibits. Now, I'm going to ask you, before I let you go, I want to ask you two questions. The first one is, what do you appreciate about the way things used to be?
Rush. Yeah.
Is that right?
Rush. It just seems like everything from when I was growing up, it's just a whole lot more laid back. And you know, you got to enjoy things a lot more. So, but, you know.
All right. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What do you appreciate about the way things are now that we no longer have to do?
You know, I just appreciate one day at a time, and wish for everybody's health and happiness, and that's all you can ask for. You know?
Well, thank you very much for coming over from Broadway, Virginia today to be with us here in Luray at the 55th Annual Page County Heritage Festival. And that is going to wrap it up for today. We want to thank all the folks and visitors who spoke with us and all of the artisans who spoke with us. And we're going to wrap things up right here by saying we want to thank everybody, and we're going to sign off here from the Page Valley Fairgrounds. We want to thank Eleanor Arrington for all of her work behind the camera and in the editing room this week. If you liked our video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Page Valley News, and don't forget to share it with a friend. And as always, make sure you visit all of our furry friends down at the Page County Animal Shelter and help them find a forever home. Until next week, I'm Randy Arrington saying, enjoy that Page Valley living.